Good morning. Right, we are then doing this seat, and this could become my favourite bit of the bike. It could become my worst favourite bit of the bike. We will see. So first things first, cut your jacket up. As you can see, we've cut a lot more off of it at the minute. We've still got quite a lot left though, so we're good. And we've had a couple of goes, they've both gone wrong. So first things first, cut a strip, and then draw on it the shapes that you want. Now again, this is like anything else. This is new to me, so I'm not showing you how to do this. I'm just showing you how I did it. What I've done, I've gone with the shape that I want, and we're just doing a little back pad of the seat at the minute. And I've gone around the outside of it, 15 centimeters around the outside of it, and the same with this bit here. That's the strip I want. I've got a 15 centimeter buffer on it. Okay, this is how we're going to do it. So I'm going to cut these out. So I have my two bits here, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to go leather to leather, and then I'm going to sew down this line and round this corner. When I go around the corner, now this is the really hard bit. I was struggling with this last time. I've got to try and bend this leather, stretch this bit of leather around the corner with it. Now in theory, if it works okay, my sewing line will be on this line here that I've drawn, and also on this line here. Okay, I've lost my little phone holder, so I can't show you me doing it unless I can find it. 2 seconds, let's have a look. And where did I start? I started over there, and I've gone round that corner and down to there. Now these corners I'm going to have to do by hand because it's too tight to do it the way that I'm doing it. Okay, I stuck to my line there, which is good. On the other side it stayed with the line. Did it stay with the line? Oh, not bad. Look, obviously I've gone off a little bit. Just going down to that edge, I've gone off a tiny bit. Don't know whether that will matter or not, we'll have to wait and see. But the idea of it is then, the effect, hold on, let's put you on there. Oh, there we go, you see, so there's our corner. And that's quite a nice corner. So if we can do the same on the other side top, and then I'll come back to you. Right, okay, I know this looks messy, but we'll see how it turns out, won't we? Okay, so now what I'm going to do now then is I'm just going to sew a seam. So I'm going to sew this back over under itself again, like so, and just down this straight line down here. And this is the depth of the seat. Now where I've gone a bit skew with down this end, I'm hoping this won't matter. It might. I might have to start over again. But hey, you know, I've gone off by about 2 mil over here, so I'm going to have to adjust that on this line because the depth has got to be the same all the way around, obviously. Okay, so I'll just crack on with that. Should we video a bit of sewing? Right then, so we've made this up to this point. Now you notice I haven't done the bottom. The reason I haven't done the bottom is because if it goes wrong, I'm wasting my time. So we've got to get this bit right first. So now we're gonna put a sewing edge around. So this bit onto there, and this stitching is going to show, so it's got to be perfect. And this is where I went belly up before. So I'm going to try. I've made myself like a wood jig, whatever you call it, and I'm going to stretch this over the wood so it's tight, and then we'll go about putting the holes in. Now on the inside, imagine what's happened here I've got 2 pieces of leather here, haven't I? Down to the sewing line. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut the excess of this bit off, very close to the sewing line, and then I'm going to use the excess of this bit and sew it onto this bit. And the idea being, what I'm hoping it will do is I want my seam to look like that. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to get the scissors, cut the other bit off, then I'm going to try and stretch it over the bit of wood I've made, and then I'll come back to you and show you what I'm going to try doing next. Now, this has gone wrong before, but I didn't use a bit of wood last time, so let's try. Right then, so it's looking a lot better doing it this way. So now what I've done then, I've put it around my bit of wood and I've just put some sort of loose staples in, just so I can hold it nice and tight, and I've worked it so it's exactly how I want it. So you can see my edge now. Okay, looks good actually. Looks good at the minute. It gives you an idea about what the seat might look like, to be fair. Although hopefully a little bit softer than this bit of wood. So what I want to do then, I want to put a line of sewing or a line of cotton along this edge and sew this bit and this bit back together again. And then I'm hoping it will hold this shape when I put some foam inside it. Okay, now then this bit is, you know, this is one of those things that if it's not right, it will look kin awful. And there's a good chance of it going wrong here. So I've got some of these little prong things. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to knock holes in the leather all of the way round, so I get the holes hopefully nice and in a nice straight line. And then I'm going to sew it all in one go afterwards. But well, I say all in one go. I'm just going to do all of this top bit first, and we'll worry about the bottom bit in a minute. But the process will be the same on the bottom, hopefully. Okay, so far so good. So what I've got, I'm just lining up with the holes that I've already punched in it, and then just giving it a little tap, and trying to keep it in a straight line. Right then, I don't know if you'll be able to see that. Will you be able to see that? So you can see what I've done. I've punched holes all of the way around the edge. Oh God, I hope it's okay. So now I'm going to hand sew that bit. So I'm going to have to take it back off here and then try and find the holes again. I might need the magnifying glass for this. Okay. Right then, so we've hand sewn the first part of the stitching on, and it looks pretty good actually. It looks pretty good indeed. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make the bottom of this. So sew on the bit at the bottom and then fix it all together. Just sew up. I'll do that one out. Kind of sew up down the sides there and join it all together. Right, it's back over our wooden jig again, so it's nicely stretched out, and we'll make it nice and flat. And then we've got to decide how big we're going to put it on here. Now bear in mind it won't have the white bit on there, so it'll just be the writing. Okay, so we're going to figure that out, and then I'm just going to mask myself a little area how big it's going to be. Good stuff then. So I've scribed it on here the size that I want it in my Write on Anything pen. Fantastic, that is awesome. So now what we're going to do, we're going to try and go around the edge of this with the same cotton, I think, as the yellow there. Okay, now this is either going to look really tacky or it's going to look awesome. I'm not quite sure which way it's going to go yet. Fingers crossed.
Perhaps a lot of people who knew the story.
Right, we've had a change of heart here. So we look with the magnifying glass. What I've done, I started stitching around my lettering here in thick cotton, which is the same cotton that I went around the outside with. And the problem is with that is you've got to make quite a big hole, because you imagine if you're doing it with a needle, you need the cotton has to go through, so you need a needle, and then you've got 2 bits of cotton as the needle goes through. So you end up with a big hole anyway at the end of the day, and you can't make it very precise. So I'm gonna do the stitching with smaller, thinner cotton. Now the problem with that is I've got lots of holes in the first M and the C that I'd already stitched with the bigger cotton. So I've unstitched it, and I'm going to have another go. So I've told you what we're doing with that one. So we're waiting for that still, and waiting for that to dry still. So we're making our base part of the seat now, and I'm going to do exactly the same. So I've made a wooden template of it so I can stretch it round, and I've sewed these bits to these bits with the sewing machine, which is great. I didn't have any bits long enough to go all the way around. The jacket's lost a sleeve, and so that's what's made these 2 bits. Let's come back a bit. 2 bits going around the outside. So I'm going to have a join at the front and a join at the back as well. So I'm going to crack on with that. I'm going to do exactly the same process with this as I did to that one there. So just cut the inside bit out, and then put the stitching in so it will hold its shape a little bit better. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Now this might be a little bit more complicated. I don't quite know how, because it's quite a big area. I don't know whether I'm going to be able, how flat it will stay, if you see what I mean. I've made it a little bit deeper, so that's 25mm deep, and this one's 30mm deep. But anyway, I'll crack on, and I'll just put the stitching. I'll join the 2 bits together and stitch around the outside, and then I'll come back to you. We have finished the finished the little back bit of the seat, and I'm made up. I think it's awesome. What have I got to tell you about it? There's our racing logo, look, just in case we ever make any products, this is what's going to be on them. That actually is only on one other place on the bike, and that is on the rev counter as well, which I also love. But this is, I think this is my favourite bit of the bike so far. Okay, so what have we done? We've made it out of that old coat, haven't we? We've got our stitching around the outside. I've got a couple of bolt holes to hold it on, stapled it on around the outside, or on the back. And when it sits down, it's nice and flush. And it's brilliant. It's brilliant. I can't stop looking at it. However, I am moving on, so I've started on the base. Now, we're not going to have this detail anywhere else on it, so the base is just going to be the base. So that's my next task, although I might have to leave it for today, sadly. Anyway, look at that. Look at that. Brilliant. It's taken me that long. Hold on one moment. I've actually managed to grow a beard. I am made up. I just want to try it on the bike. The only problem is I've got no bodywork because it's still up at Matey Boy and he hasn't even touched it yet. Gutted. Never mind. I'll just keep looking at it. I'll see you soon.